G'day riders, this is Mr. Kiwi Rider. I always feel like it's been a minute or two since we last spoke. I'm not as active on here as I used to be, but who knows what the future might bring. Some changes have happened in recent times. Some of you may have heard at the start of the year I ended up selling the Lowrider ST. There's a few reasons for that, but to cut a long story short, I kind of felt like my riding career had almost come to an end just due to a niggling injury that I got some time ago, a few years ago, when I actually crashed my street bob while we were on a tour of the North Island. Yeah, I was pretty down, you know, feeling pretty low about the fact that I couldn't ride as long or as far as I could, and just thinking that maybe my time had come to stop riding. So I was without a bike for a few months, but more recently I purchased another motorcycle. I was able to have a test ride and sit on this other bike, and it kind of made me realize that perhaps it wasn't so much that my riding career was over, but perhaps that I just needed a different bike with a different riding position. Yeah, I'm going to introduce you to my brand new motorcycle and do a wee project on it today. What bike did I buy? Well, here it is. It's a 2014 Triumph Speedmaster. What made me buy this bike, you ask? Comfort, believe it or not. With the ST, I really loved that bike. It was a beautiful bike, big and noisy and fast. I put the big bars on it, forward controls, but more and more I think I was finding that the riding position itself was uncomfortable on long journeys. Yeah, hence the decision to sell it. And then I saw my local motorcycle shop, McIver and Beach, they had this Speedmaster offered for sale, so I went along and just thought, oh, we'll have a bit of a look at it, maybe get a wee test ride and sit on it. It's lower to the ground, the forward controls aren't quite as pushed forward, and the bars are in a really comfortable position. I'm not resting on my wrists too much, but I'm also not reaching too high either. The seat was nice and wide and comfortable. It's a lot smaller engine. It's an 865, so a lot smaller than the ST, but that's absolutely no issue. It rides really well, and I was just super impressed with it. So I laid the money down, and the Speedmaster's come home with me. I'm sort of in a phase now where I'm looking at what I can do to the bike to make it mine. I am often about how something looks visually. I quite like making things look a bit older, a bit more hand-built, or, you know, a bit more chopped. And I mean, it's only for aesthetics, and it's only for me to enjoy, even if they don't, you know, create extra horsepower or anything like that. So today I'm going to do a pipe wrap on the header pipes. Now, because of the straight twin on this bike, it does have a pipe out both sides, which I really like the look of. So I'm going to wrap both of those header pipes. I'm also going to remove this, you see there, the bikini fairing. Now, someone's put that on for good reasons. It's not something I particularly like, so I am going to take that off. So there you go. I tried to cut that long story short, but let's get on with the project. These are literally going to be my tools and supplies today. I've got my black exhaust strap here. It's about 10 meters, but I won't need all of that. I will split that in half because I am going to be putting it on while it's on the bike. Having a shorter length is going to be far easier to wrap through and around the muffler. I've got the hose clamps to clamp the heat wrap to the mufflers, and for the record, they are 33 to 57 millimeter sized ones. 4 of those, screwdriver, and gloves. When you're working with this stuff, you really want to be wearing gloves. I probably should have long sleeves on, but I don't. But yeah, at least gloves, because this does have little bits and pieces that gets on your skin and can be itchy. So yeah. All right, just some things to take into account here. So I've cut the 10 meter length of pipe wrap in half. Is about 5 meters here. I likely will not need all of it. However, I just want to make sure I don't run out, so there will be a little bit of wastage there. I've just cut that end. Just keep in mind that it will fray, but I would encourage you not to pull at it, because if you do, you'll be pulling it forever because it's all woven and you can end up pulling all of these threads out. All right, so we want to hide that cut part at the back, and I am going to, let me see, wrap under and over, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to go under and over. Yeah, just so I can hide that that bit nicely at the back there. You can always cut any stray bits off at the end. All right, and this first bit, I'm going to wrap through, come back up, just fold that over itself quite firmly. Now, because this does have a texture, it does hold onto itself quite well, but you still will need to hold it so it doesn't all unravel. Then I'm going to pull that through again, and I'm going to start wrapping that over about half of what is currently there, and we'll do that all the way down the pipe just so it's all nice and even. All right, so we're at that point now. I have taken my gloves off because I am going to put this hose connector on and clamp this in place. Now, there'll be different preferences for how you want to orientate this. You may want to hide the screw feature in the back. You may want to place it at the bottom. I think for these mods that really are just for visual purposes, it's going to be entirely up to you what you prefer. Again, I quite like the home built look, so I don't mind being able to see the screw feature, so I might just put it at the bottom here, but you might want to turn that around and have it at the back here so you can't visually see it. So I'm just going to clamp that, clamp that on nice and firmly, but I'm not going to go too hard. This isn't particularly sharp, but if you go too hard, you can run the risk of actually biting into the heat wrap, which is going to potentially cut it, and then that'll all become loose, so you don't want that. So nice and firm, but not over tight. So that's just enough to grab that onto that header pipe. I'm going to put my gloves back on and just continue to wrap that around the pipe, always covering about half the width of the wrap. The great thing about this heat wrap, because it's woven, there is some flex in it, so you can to a degree mold it to shape, so that it won't have any bulges or bumps in it. Alright, so we're just getting down to an area now where there's a lot of mechanics. We're getting almost right where the O2 sensor's going into the pipe there. So in that area, I'm just going to do my best to wrap this so that it's not visible that there is a small gap at the back. And I'm also going to do my best to wrap this pipe through the pipe when there's very limited space. So this might be a bit more of a painstaking area, but it is well worth it. All right, we're getting toward the end here where the pipe is attached to the motorcycle. So what I'm going to do is make sure that that's nicely wrapped tight. I'm going to go around a couple of times just over the top of what I've already done, nice and straight. Cut the extra length of pipe wrap off so that it sits toward the back, and then get another hose clamp on there, and I'm going to fix it underneath as well. And again, just don't do that up overly tight. You don't want to bite into the pipe wrap. And I don't know if you can see that, there's a little stray piece of wrap from where I cut it, so I'll just cut that off, and anything else will be hidden behind the pipe there. Only about 1.5 meters of pipe wrap left over at the end there, and there we have it, one wrapped header pipe. And it's taken away that bright shiny chrome, which I kind of felt there was too much of. I'm not a massive chrome fan. I think that's given that quite a beautiful look, just wrapping that header pipe. Those hose clamps are secure but not overly tight, and that wrap, because I made sure that every time I turned it I kept the tension on, that's beautifully wrapped there. So there we go. I always enjoy doing little projects like that, just to change up the look of whatever bike I have at the time. All that's left now to do is to do the other side, and I'll give you a wee view of what they both look like when they're done. If you enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, and hey, if you want to know when I release a new video, hit the bell icon and that'll give you a notification. See you on the road.
Finally waking up inside a void where I can hear the noise of someone similar to you. I'm still a little tired, but I can try to muster up a kind of style that in a way would call maroon.